Hello, am I live? Okay, let's change it to. Oh shoot, I forgot to change my playlist. Okay. Today's a very important day. One of the most important ones of this year. Around January 25. Pretty funny. That's like the most iconic day. I just woke up. I haven't taken a shower yet. I haven't done anything yet. I haven't eaten yet. But I decided that I need to finish my Wizard 101 stuff. And I think I'll just make the start of like the 1 minute start of a video. And I did want to address some things I've thought about. Yesterday when I fell asleep and woke yesterday after the stream, I don't regret anything that was said because I don't live life with regrets. But I can definitely say though, thinking about it, it definitely does give off the wrong impression that it's gonna be like all the videos are gonna be like very negative Nancy, if that's the best way I can put it. There were some fun moments, like playing Sonic 2, using a controller for the first time, had some amazing moments during the gameplay. But also, one thing I realized about making consistency, it's easy to do. Streaming is not that bad if you stream on only the good days. If you stream on only the days where you feel good, then it's not that bad because you just like wait till a good day and stream. But like if you're trying to start from scratch, if you're trying to become someone, you have to stream during those days where you feel like crap and you don't want to do anything. Yesterday I learned that like what happens when you stream when you're not feeling well and you just gotta keep on going. But I just do want to say that like the most of the that what happened like this week, the content, it's something very unique because it's probably gonna be like one. I'm trying to get. It's kind of like one. Like it's kind of like a weird like I'm at a weird standstill in my life right now where it's like I'm not exactly about to be homeless right now because I have like rent secured for next month. But at the same time, I'm not like fully financially free just yet. I still have like working like 3 jobs, which is kind of like trying to navigate all that. And I'm trying to eventually just condense it into like one good job, so I don't have to worry about actually just stressful worrying about my body, worrying about the safety of my body. Working at Chick-fil-A, I literally got a metal spike that slashed my leg, and the boy looked at me. Was like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, I'm not trying to wake up every day to go to a job that's gonna injure me, change my hours randomly. And I get because of the winter storm, but still. Right now, because of the winter storm, it's kind of stalled some things. It's actually worked great on my end because it's kind of like because this weekend I was gonna have to choose between 2 of my weekend jobs, and I wasn't ready to make that decision yet. I do want a social media job soon because working a fast food job has its limits, and having a social media job will put me in an environment where I feel like me going to college and me doing my internship and all the social media grinding has been worth it. because I can actually have a stable job that I don't have to worry about any physical labor too much. I can handle some of it. I'm actually really high endurance when it comes to physical labor, but I don't like it, and I'd rather just not do it if I don't have to. Right now, I have no choice. So I kind of just like, it's just kind of like, it is what it is until I get a better job. So right now, it's just kind of like, yes, this week, all the stress kind of combusted. And just like, and also starting this channel from scratch, Legacy Gaming. Because I used to have like 800 subscribers on that channel, and now all the subscribers are probably inactive. So I have to basically start from a clean start. And it's going to be dealing with the algorithm is going to be an issue. So it was just kind of like a lot of issues condensed, but I recover kind of quickly, but it still takes some time. Right now is one of those things where it's like I like improving every single day, and I want to be the king of YouTube, and I gotta be consistent. So my plan right now is I'm focusing on Modern Legacy Gaming, my gaming channel, which I was streaming footage for my VOD so I can edit it later. I'm planning on editing all the videos today, and I haven't edited in a while. And what I kind of did to make things like a gentler process for me, like a more like manageable, what I did is I kind of like pre-planned the edits. As you can see, if you check the other videos or other streams or my discussions channel, you can see the comments in the chat where me like time stamping the edits I want to do. That's there to kind of help me out. So like when I'm editing, I can just focus on like just popping these out, doing consistent stuff. And I think today I'm gonna focus on like rendering time. I don't know how rendering time is gonna be a factor. The workflow is probably like the most important part, honestly, and I'm still kind of navigating all of that. And then after that, I have to edit for my Modern Discussions channel. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do that one. I was just kind of like, I'm just gonna do see how the gaming channel edits go on. Then we're focused on Modern Legacy, my Modern Discussions channel. Because I haven't uploaded on that channel yet. Then after that, I'm focusing on my storytelling channel, where I write like lesbian romance stories. And then I use AI to kind of like help like make the scripts and all that stuff. I know people frown on AI, but like I frankly do not care. Because I put a lot of creativity in the scripts and images prompts anyways, and I try to make it as unique as possible. It's just one of those things where it's like the cost of like being consistent is I gotta do stuff like that. So yeah, and then the fourth one I'm planning on doing like a TikTok channel. Or not a TikTok channel per se, YouTube based, but I'm planning on making a TikTok, and I'm planning on trying to make 20 videos per day. I'm not gonna upload all these videos immediately because that would just not be smart. And even if the videos do well, I need to also think about the follow up. But this is just giving me a good base, a good like breathing room so I can like kind of like finish all the videos, finish all the edits, and I can kind of like reassess. I'm like, okay, what went well? What didn't go well? How can I improve it? Etc. etc. And originally I wanted to kind of wait until I got like a social media or stable job, but now it's going to occur to me that possibly might never happen. Hopefully it does. I do have a job interview lined up, but that possibly could not happen for like a good, like my phone and charger, for like a good while. So I just have to do it every single day and grind. And I'm kind of nervous because I don't know what I'm doing to the most part. But I gotta take things one step at a time and go for like decisions that'll always be a good idea. For example, regardless of what's going on. One thing is very clear: I have to upload consistently for my channels. Only once I upload consistently, then at that point, it's just more of like once you acquire consistency for YouTube, the priority is then quality, and once the quality is prioritized, then you focused on marketing. That's kind of like the strategy I'm using. Focus on consistency, because it doesn't matter how good your channel is, if you don't be consistent, YouTube's not going to recommend it. And the thing is, I can do like a big batch right now, probably do more content right now. It doesn't matter, because even if I record like 50 videos, if I can't edit all those videos at a reasonable time, then it doesn't matter. Because that's what happened with my lesbian channel. I made like 100 video script ideas and like 50 video scripts, but then I got burnt out after the 18th video, and then I just kind of like stopped, and then I just kind of like just stayed there for a couple months. But yeah, also like in terms of like language I use in these videos, my goal is to try to keep things like, family friendly for all ages. It is meant for like adults, obviously, for the channel and all that stuff. But I usually try to have like my humor for like, not my humor, like my language be like for all ages. Like I don't like cursing that much, because it's not that I don't. It's not that I can't curse. I obviously did it yesterday. It's just one of those. It's kind of like a bad habit. Like, in my opinion, it's just like just cursing a lot is just not good, because then it might slip into your personal life, which has happened a lot of times, cause a lot of drama. And I think it's one of those things where you should kind of like save it for like special occasions. But I try to like not center it, but kind of like do like a replacement, like word for it. Like instead of saying the F word, I say fudge, like in chocolate. Instead of saying but or utter the A word, I just say ash. Basically, I'm trying to like modify my language where the same point is across, and I try to like avoid some like sensitive words that people don't like, because it's like one of those things where it's like, why say it if I don't have to? But obviously, sometimes words slip out, especially when you're with your homies, or they say stuff out of pocket, and I'm like, dog, we're streaming, and like, it's fine. So just gonna be mindful of that. Just take things one step at a time. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun journey though. I'm definitely excited. Thank God for the snow day, because it's kind of like basically just taking a break from all this job stress, and I get to focus on actually doing the work. And yesterday, because I was grieving for my lost sword, I know, I know, like I know how that probably might sound, but for me, it's one of those things where, how is this stats better than my? Anyways, it is one of those things for me where that sword shared like a lot of memories for me, because I've been, for the most part, doing this thing. I've been like doing everything solo, which is very stressful. I'm recovering a lot. Obviously, you could say there's like small things where like my landlord helped me, give me advice, some stuff like that. But they also cause like some issues sometimes, where like make them maybe do stuff. So I can't really say they're really like helping me out too much. it's like a roommate. You can't expect the roommate to help you for everything. They help you with like some questions here and there. That's pretty much basically. But for the most part, I've been doing things solo, which is very stressful because if I don't like succeed now, then I have like no one to have my back for me. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stabilize myself into like a good position where I never have to worry about that. So once I have like financially secure, don't have to worry about rent for a while, have like emergency cars stuff, so I don't have to worry about like any car shenanigans happening. And then right now the biggest kind of like the biggest pain is focusing on like finding a way to make money consistently. That's not hurting me, because right now all these ones is kind of like very risky. So that's kind of like the priority right now. And right now it's just kind of like I have to do things one step at a time. No matter what happens right now, thinking about all the stuff right now isn't gonna make it better. Thinking about what I have to do right now, but in terms of jobs, isn't gonna solve anything. Right now, the situation is the snowy roads. It's too risky for me to drive, and I need to stream and edit anyways. That is like the truth of the matter. So it's one of those things I just gotta not worry about it and do the best I can for today. It's gonna be a long journey. And you may be asking why I want to be the king of YouTube. It's more of those things where I've been like inspired by YouTube ever since I was a kid. It was literally the only thing saving me from like hell at the time. And I grew up with YouTube. I watched a lot of YouTube tabs. Kind of got obsessed with YouTube growing up, and I've always wanted to be like a YouTuber, but I just couldn't because of the situation I was in. And I've been through so much pain and suffering that I actually want to, instead of just using it as a way to make my life worse, to like saying, oh, it's everyone's fault, I want to use all that pain and suffering I experienced to make my life better. To have like the best life and all that. I'm willing to work hard to get that. But also I want to kind of like be safe, because these jobs are dangerous as heck. And I'm not trying to wake up every day, deal with it. Right now, the kind of like the strategy that I'm kind of doing right now is just distract myself from the job as long as possible. So when I wake up, I just immediately go to work and just not think about it. Because the more I think about the job, the more I want to quit. But I trust the process. I took a gamble because I was still senior in college. Now that I'm like more calmed down now. While I was a senior in college, I had the choice during Thanksgiving to either escape that situation forever, cut ties with my former family, escape with my brother, and then help arrest my father, former father, to make sure he doesn't come after me ever again. Or I would play it safe and just stay with them. Just stay with them until after I graduate, save money, endure all that BS. Then once I get enough money, get my own place, and that's it. The safest decision, the one that most 99% of people or 100% of people will probably have done, is just stay with their family until like they graduate, and then get their documents and leave. But for me, they hit a point where they crossed the line. The moment where they started talking about how they can do whatever they want to their own like sons because they're their parent, and then I have to listen to everything they say, no matter what. And that includes he can even break my skull or do other stuff. He could hit me. He can make me give him all my money. Pretty much, I always felt like a slave living with my family, living my former family. And I made that choice to leave, take a gamble, and start from scratch. And most people will probably say I'm crazy for that, saying like, "Oh, why would you not take the safe route?" And I feel you on that one. Because if somehow I survive after college, figured out, just adapted, honestly, adapted. They were offering me, they were offering me like after I graduate, free rent for a whole year. They could have helped me get a car. And they were even talking about giving me like an arranged marriage. But hell no. I was not gonna do all that and take like the easy way out. And just deal with them and just have to deal with them. So when the chance that had to happen to like leave, I had to make like a bet with myself, saying like, even if I did leave, I still would have to succeed. Like this was a gamble for me. Because the only way this gambit would have worked out is if I escaped and managed to accomplish all this stuff by myself. Originally I was planning on, this was kind of like a backup plan. I did not plan this. I did not plan to leave him. But after I saw how horribly they treated my brother, I was like, nope, I'm not dealing with this stuff anymore. So I took the gambit and left. And now the problem what happened was, it was more of like a plan out of the moment type of deal. I never intended to actually do that. I never intended to actually leave my former family. My part was like, I'm just gonna stick around for a little bit after I graduate, save some money, then leave. That was the plan. But eventually, it went too far. Where I was like, enough is enough, honestly. And that's kind of like why things have been way more difficult. Is because I couldn't really plan it in advance. The thing is, if I knew I was gonna do this, senior year, all that from the beginning, I would probably have had a more tighter financial plan, honestly. Because one reason why I didn't get a job during college because I didn't have a car, but also it was one of those things where it's like, even though I tried getting a job, one thing is, I was like, I'm just gonna get it after I graduate. So it was one of those things where I probably would have just like saved as much money as I could, and just probably not spent anything, like at all, to help me out. Because also it was one of those things when I left, I was like, my brother's gonna help pay rent until I graduate, and I'm gonna graduate and help him out. Then we both paid basically half rent, and I'm like, that just sounds like a GG's. but then he chose his decision to get married, and it's not. I don't blame him, but it was one of those things where I was like, originally my plan was like, okay, I have to adapt the plan. I'm like, we're gonna save some money, and after like a couple years, he's gonna cover rent essentially. I mean, no, he's not, and basically not cover rent. Basically, he's gonna find like a wife or whatever, and we'll leave our separate ways. The thing is, it all happened. What was supposed to happen like in a span of like 2 or 3 years happened in like a couple months, which kind of forced me to kind of adapt. Because I'm like, okay, I can't live here with my brother, and my brother was telling me you should go back to your former family. I'm like, dog, you do realize that if I was gonna resort to that, I wouldn't have done this risky plan to begin with. I would have just stayed quiet and not done anything until I graduated and left there. So no, I'm never going back. Some decisions are meant to be permanent, and I don't hold a grudge. Still pissed off what they did, but I don't hold a grudge because no holding a grudge is not okay. For me, it's like they crossed the line no family, no parent or anyone should ever do, and this is my decision. And then I have to get my documents because they wouldn't give me my documents, which is why I couldn't leave sooner. So, and this all kind of, and that's kind of like, and then after I graduated, I have like only $100 to my name. And then I had to kind of figure out like, okay, you know what, I don't want to live with my brother because his wife is being very controlling and making my life a literal hell. And my brother is literally doing nothing, like a bystander. Became homeless for a day. It was brutal. Had to stay over like my one friend's house, but then I got kicked out after the morning because the brother did not want me to stay there. So then I had to kind of like figure out, okay, how do I get out of this predicament? And pretty much what happened was like my friend gave me like a terrible deal, but it was like the only deal I could actually do at the time. Was like, okay, pretty much she said for the next couple months I will help you, but all the money you make, you have to pretty much give most of it to me. In exchange, she will help me get a rent. Not rent, she'll help me get a place to rent. She'll help me get like a brutal warehouse job, but will pay the bills for now. And she has to use my car and stress me out for a couple months. But unfortunately, that was like I had no choice. So I was like, you know what? I don't like this deal, but it's like I don't have any other choice. So I was like, deal. So for the next couple months, I had to work like a Nissan 1850 an hour job. And even though I was making a lot of money, I couldn't actually use any of it. Because I had to, because she overused my car. So when we went to the mechanic said $200, but I couldn't pay it at the time, so I had to wait until I get paid. But then she overdrove my car so much that it costed $1,500 to fix my car. So I had no choice but to like do that. I had to like use Uber. I had to ask for a ride to get to work for the first week at Nissan. Luckily, some like my roommates worked at Nissan, so I was able to get a ride to there. Then I had to Uber back, and I barely managed to like make that week. And then the coworkers are brutal. And the thing is, because I didn't have my car at the time, I had to kind of like couldn't really make any decisions or any plans until I get my car back. And it was just kind of like one of those things where it's also because her car, she kind of lied about it not working. It did work. So she literally overdrove my car. And then also, even though she helped me get a place, she also did try to get me kicked out because eventually I had enough and told her, no, I'm not giving you my money. And she got angry about that and decided to try to convince the landlord to kick me out. So the first couple months, I thought they were trying to kick me out the whole time. But then eventually I talked to the landlord and we kind of resolved things. And she said, he basically was like, she doesn't really care about all that drama. She's like, as long as rent gets paid, everything is clean, everything is good, then you're good. And that happened. I was like, I can finally take a deep breath. Then November happened, and I finally got my car back. I was like, thank God. And then what happened? I fell into a trap. I'm like, okay, I got rent paid off. I spent a lot of money on like future investments, on like a camera, a bunch of gear, clothes, pillows, equipment. Basically, get my own room for the first time. Getting excited for that. I'm like, okay, I finally got everything stabilized. It's now time to actually save money. And then Nissan had like a deal at the time where if you work at like get promoted, which I was about to get during like the holiday season for 2 weeks, I would get like a paid holiday. For 2 weeks, I would basically get like paid for those 2 weeks and make $1,400. So I was like, that's a pretty good deal right there. So I was like, I'm gonna stay there till December. But then my body got so sick, and I lost my ID and realized my body was like slowly dying. And I'm like, okay, it's not worth it. And part of me kind of like still sad about like, dang, if I only stayed there like a month longer, I could have had like $5,000 if I started this year, have no jobs, kind of chill for a little bit, and not have to worry about a job right now if I stay here for another month. But it was one of those things where it's like, even though I have like my like limits of getting like constantly beat down, so I was like, no, I'm not doing that bullshit. So, but the thing is, that decision still has kind of like consequences. It's kind of like a bet. I was like, okay, I'm gonna quit this so I can get like a better opportunity. So now I have to kind of like figure out, okay, because I basically couldn't do that opportunity, I have to come with something better. So now I have to kind of like figure out like getting a better job now. So the priority now, instead of like overworking myself to make a lot of money in a short amount of time, the priority is doing things one step at a time and getting a stable job. Like right now is one of those things where it's like, I would take a stable job that's not trying to kill me, consistent hours that I've actually earned with my degree. I earned with my degree, fought for this. That job will be really pretty helpful. And it's one of those things right now, if I quit like Chick-fil-A, rent is already paid off for like 1 month, so I basically have to find a job within that 1 month. So technically, but right now it's one of those things where I kind of like want to stall that decision as long as possible, because interviews take a lot of time and BS, and it's one of those things I don't have like an alternate thing to do. Unless once I start making money with freelance, it'll be one of those things where it's like I can actually comfortably quit a job and still make money with gigs and stuff like that, which is what I'm trying to do. So yeah, TLDR, it's basically too long didn't read for those who don't know what that means. We're figuring things out. We're making a good progress. it's just one of those things where it's just gonna take some time, honestly. And I just had to take things one step at a time. And it's one of those things where I feel like the most impactful change for me right now, upgrade, will be, what the heck, why is it so expensive? The most impactful like thing right now that would actually like help me out would be getting a stable social media job, because then I can have like two plans. Plan A is just like the regular job route, where as long as I work, I can get social media experience. Or I can get like social media experience, marketing experience. Actually, don't have to worry about getting injured, and actually can worry about growing in my career. That's a nice ability. Can worry about growing in my career field. And it'll be nice. So yeah, that's kind of like what I'm fishing for. Because at that point, I get a new. At that point, because then the challenge doesn't become like how long can I stay at this job. The challenge is like, okay, I'm at this job. Assuming the job isn't toxic, isn't trying to kick me out or whatever fudge. I work there. I can start saving up money, and then I can start building up experience now. And at that point, on the side, I don't have to worry about a job anymore. And then my priority shifts to like my side activities. And basically, I'm trying to acquire financial freedom by the end of this year. My goal is $110,000. What the plan is, I'm planning on doing like a house hack strategy, where like 50 grand is used to buy like get a loan from the bank, do a down payment, get a house, and pay someone to find tenants to pay the house off. So like that, so the house, basically the tenants will pay the house every month, and that money would go to me. And 50 grand, I'm basically over saving. So like, in case of the worst case scenario shenanigans happen, I can pay off the loan. Then the 20K to get some property for land and get like an RV. So at the worst case scenario in the future, if I ever just need a place to just like stay and just not worry about anything, I can go there. And I'll probably have like a bunch of portable equipment there, like a portable Wi-Fi, portable like a portable stove, probably like a lot of like canned food and stuff like that. So that way, when I go back there, I don't have to worry about any bills and all that stuff. So that'll be nice. I don't know how I'm gonna get. I don't know how I'm gonna. I don't know what the logistics are still like a mystery right now. But that's why I'm kind of like doing things one step at a time. If you worry about everything right now, you're just gonna collapse. But yeah, then I'll have 20K for rent. That way I never have to work ever again. That way if I work, I'm doing it because I want to work. And I can focus on like freelance. And I can actually like, then I want to try to get like passive income, where like I'm making money every month just by like chilling. However, it's going to be a lot of work, so I have to be willing. That's why this year I'm doing a lot of work in. And I think the win conditions for me is being creative. My creativity is gonna how like I'm gonna be able to like win this, because I think doing things the normal way, it's just gonna work out. We're close to the final boss of Wizard City, which is nice. We'll finish after we beat the final boss, unlock Croctopia. We'll end the streaming video. I'm having pretty fun streaming on video right now. It's one of those things. I'm trying to get like freedom, but it's one of those things where I realize the price for everything I want, I have to work hard for it, and then eventually like I'll get to a point where I have to work these like labor jobs and like do photography, videography, and kind of like my goal is to kind of just like do photography and videography to bring people's dreams and passions to life. Plus, to be like an excuse for me to be more active, go outside, meet people, have conversations, take amazing photos, get better. And then I gotta learn about editing will be a good one. Oh, I forgot. I don't know why they did this, but for this quest line, you have to kind of like beat the boss, then beat a minion. I kind of like it where you beat a boss. No, we beat a minion first, then beat the boss. So once you beat the boss, you can be like, yes, I can relax now. Rather than like having to beat the boss, then minion. Alright. I'm still figuring out the flow right now of everything going on. Can't do that. Well, the best part about death was I can just drain from my spells, so thank God. I kind of need this. Last year was kind of like very intense. Kind of like needed like a little breather, you know. You want to kill the minion for this boss fight because this boss fight is very difficult. But yeah. Still figuring everything out. And it's gonna probably be like a while before I feel like confident in everything. But right now we're good. Right now it's like I have rent paid off. I don't have to, I literally cannot work right now even if I want to because there's snow. I mean I think the roads are better now, but I'd just rather not take that risk if I don't have to. I do probably get money if I could show up to work. It's just one of those things where it's like I'd rather play it safe. And people construe like taking a risk is good, but it's more like taking a calculated risk. Right now is one of those things where like if I risk it and get to work, sure I could get to work right now. But the problem is if like my car gets like something happens to my car because I drive in the snow, that will just cause more issues and I'll probably end up spending more money to fix it than if I just didn't do it. Now, if I didn't have rent paid off, that would be different. And that's why I feel like most people fall into the trap. Is like you want to kind of secure yourself a foundation. You want to secure yourself a foundation before you start taking risks. So I feel like what ends up happening is I'm guilty of it too. What do I get? Oh. I'm guilty of it too. You want to kind of like what am I saying? You want to take risks when you already have like a good financial backup plan. For example, let's say you already have like your survival costs like food, rent, all that stuff already covered, and then you make like make a paycheck. You can take risk with that paycheck right there. Or like if you have a car, but you have like a backup car or Uber money. I feel like one thing's like very clutch is having Uber money. That's like one thing you should never take for granted. Having Uber money is how you can literally survive your first couple jobs. Yeah, I don't know why they added this stupid side quest. I mean not side quest. Well, you get to fight a minion after this. Oh my dog. Oh wait. Okay, so how TC is nice. But yeah, so today's one of those days where you just like grinding just as the best option to do. Glorious died so Dragon Ball Super can come back. That one is one. Hearing that news yesterday really messed with me because I've been waiting for Dragon Ball to come back for a long time. For like ever since Dragon Ball Super ended, which it ended in like a 2017. So 9 years for Dragon Ball Super to come back. And what makes it worse is those years felt very painful to just like wait through that. That's what kind of made like those years felt way long. For those years I was in high school, college. It's a lot. But yeah. We'll be fine. Damn, I didn't mean this to be a Fortnite man video. I still have my streaming skills, baby. Yep, just one step at a time. Alright, we got new year, nice. Let's train our pet. Oh, we get a new spell, nice. Let's just, yeah, we're gonna have to get many upgrades right now. What's my spell? That should be pretty nice. I like having Prism in side deck. I technically can't crit now because of this pet. This is why you want to do the 25 games. You do it once, you never have to do it ever again. This is a pain for me though, because if you have like so much different wizards, you kind of have to just like do it over and over. But I think it's worth it though. Crit is one of the best like early pet talents, if not the best. You don't have to do like a double damage can really save your butt. I have sacrifice? I don't know why I would ever use that spell, but hey, you know what? This is what it is. That's the video. Farewell, modern legacy gaming fans. No, honestly, I could probably stream a bit longer for people still watching, but I kind of don't feel like it. So yeah, see y'all.